The day started calm, under the twin suns of Valara Prime. The great alien market was alive with sounds, buzzing traders, flying drones, and the smell of strange food drifting through the air. Among the crowd, a lone human named Eli Trent worked quietly, fixing a broken power terminal near the square. Humans were rare here. Most aliens whispered when they saw him. Some pointed. Others kept their distance. Eli didn't mind anymore. He was used to being the outsider, the strange creature from the forgotten planet called Earth. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and tightened a bolt, trying to focus on his work. Then, out of nowhere, a small voice broke through the noise. "Excuse me, sir?" Eli turned. A little alien girl stood near him, holding a glowing fruit. Her skin shimmered like blue glass, and her large eyes blinked curiously. She smiled shyly. Before Eli could reply, a sudden beep echoed from a crate behind her. It was faint at first, then faster. Beep, 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 beep. Eli's eyes widened. His instincts screamed danger. Without thinking, he threw himself toward the girl. Then, boom! The explosion ripped through the square. The ground shook. Shards of metal and flame burst into the air. Aliens screamed and scattered. Eli felt a sharp pain tear through his chest as he covered the girl with his body. He heard her crying beneath him, trembling. The world blurred. His vision dimmed and his ears rang with silence. He could barely breathe. His blood stained the ground. The last thing he saw was a figure running toward them, someone shouting words he couldn't understand. Then, darkness. When Eli opened his eyes again, everything was white and glowing. He wasn't dead. He lay on a soft bed surrounded by strange lights. Machines hummed softly nearby. His chest didn't hurt anymore. His body felt heavier, stronger. Voices whispered in the distance. Alien voices. He couldn't understand all of them, but one phrase repeated often. The human survived. Eli tried to move, but a force kept him still. He glanced around, his eyes catching a reflection. His skin glowed faintly, tiny golden lines tracing across his veins like energy. A shadow moved closer. It was the little alien girl. Her bright eyes filled with relief. "You're awake," she said softly. "You saved me." Before Eli could speak, a tall figure stepped behind her. A soldier, armored in silver plating with glowing blue patterns. He looked down at Eli with cold, sharp eyes. "The human is awake," the soldier said. "Inform the council." The little girl looked up. "He's not bad. He helped me." The soldier didn't reply. His eyes stayed on Eli. Then he spoke in a low voice filled with something between curiosity and fear. "You should not be alive, human. That bomb contained forbidden energy. No one survives that." Eli frowned weakly. "Then how am I still here?" The soldier's expression darkened. "We will find out soon." The lights flickered. Somewhere far above, alarms started to sound. Eli woke again to silence. The ceiling above him was smooth and glowing. The air felt too clean, too bright. He sat up slowly, his body responding like it belonged to someone else. His movements were quicker, sharper. Every sound seemed louder, every color brighter. Around him stood 3 tall aliens in white robes. They whispered while scanning his body with thin beams of light. The symbols glowing on his skin pulsed whenever the scanner touched him. "Strange," one said. "He carries the shard energy." "The shard?" Eli asked, confused. The alien looked startled that he spoke. "You were exposed to a weapon that draws power from the ancient core. It should have vaporized you." Eli frowned. "So why am I alive?" Before they could answer, the door opened. The little alien girl ran in again, followed by 2 guards. She smiled when she saw Eli. "You're really okay?" He smiled weakly. "I think so." "You're safe?" She nodded, then looked at the guards nervously. "My father wants to see you." The guards led Eli down a long, glowing corridor. Everywhere he looked, aliens stared at him, some with fear, some with anger. Murmurs followed him like whispers in the dark. When they entered the great chamber, he saw her father, a tall alien with silver eyes, dressed in armor that shimmered like glass. "You are the human who saved my daughter," the alien said. His voice was calm but cold. "But we found something troubling. The weapon that exploded was human-made." Eli froze. "That's impossible." The alien's gaze hardened. "Then explain why your blood now carries the same energy signature as the bomb." Eli looked down at his glowing veins, his heart pounding. "I don't know." I just tried to protect her. The alien's eyes softened for a moment, but only a moment. Your bravery is noted, but bravery does not erase suspicion. Guard stepped closer. Eli felt the cuffs lock around his wrists, humming with power. The little girl gasped. Father, no. He saved me. The alien looked at her. And that is why he will not be executed. Yet, Eli was taken away, the doors closing behind him with a deep metallic echo. As he sat in the energy cell, staring at the glowing walls, he realized he wasn't just a human anymore. Something had changed inside him. Something powerful. Something alive. And somewhere deep in the Valari city, someone was watching him closely, waiting for what he might become. The cell was cold and silent. Eli sat alone, staring at the shimmering wall that held him inside. It wasn't made of metal, but of pure light, humming softly, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. Every time he touched it, the wall pushed back like a living thing. He didn't know how long he had been there. Hours? Days? The Valari guards never spoke. They only stared through the glowing barrier with blank faces, as if watching a dangerous animal. Eli's body still felt strange. He could feel the power inside him, energy moving under his skin, flowing like a current. Sometimes, when he got angry, the cell lights flickered. It scared him, and yet it also felt familiar. Suddenly, the light wall rippled and vanished. A tall alien stepped inside. A woman dressed in silver robes, her face hidden under a thin mask. "You are Eli Trent," she said in a calm, smooth voice. "Human engineer, assigned to the trade guild." Eli nodded. "Yeah, what's happening?" "Why am I locked up?" She looked at the glowing marks on his arm. "You were caught in an explosion powered by shard energy. Ancient technology forbidden for thousands of years. The weapon was made with human components." Eli frowned. "That's not possible. Humans don't even have access to this kind of power." The woman tilted her head. "Someone does. And until we find out who, you are a threat." She turned to leave, but Eli shouted, "Wait. What about the girl? The one I saved? Is she safe?" The woman paused. "Princess Lariah is unharmed. She speaks highly of you, but her words cannot erase suspicion." Then the door sealed again, leaving Eli in silence once more. Hours later, soft footsteps echoed in the hallway. Eli looked up as the light wall shimmered again, but this time it wasn't a guard. It was her, the little alien girl, Lariah. Her golden eyes glowed softly in the dark. "Lariah?" Eli whispered, standing up. "What are you doing here?" She pressed a small crystal to the wall and it dissolved instantly. "I came to help you," she said quickly. "They plan to move you to the core lab tonight. Once you go there, you'll never come back." Eli blinked. "What do you mean?" She looked around nervously. "They think you are part of the attack. My father doesn't want to, but the council demands proof. They will take the energy out of you, even if it kills you." Eli's chest tightened. "And you risked coming here to warn me?" She nodded. "You saved me, Eli. Now I save you." He hesitated. "If they find out you helped me, they'll—" "I don't care," she whispered fiercely. "Please follow me." They moved through narrow tunnels under the citadel, where the air smelled of dust and machinery. Strange roots grew through the walls on pulsing veins of blue light that hummed with energy. "Where are we going?" Eli asked quietly. "To the lower gates," she said. "There's an old exit under the water channels. No one uses it." As they turned a corner, Eli's foot hit a loose pipe. The metal rang loud, too loud. Alarms blared instantly. "Run!" Lariah shouted. Guards appeared from both sides, their weapons glowing with blue light. Eli pulled her close and turned, but one blast fired toward them. It missed by inches, striking the wall and sending sparks everywhere. "Stop!" one of the guards shouted. "Surrender the human." Lariah cried out, "No! Don't hurt him!" Eli's pulse raced. The strange energy inside him reacted to the danger. His hands began to glow. His veins lit up like molten gold. "What's happening to me?" he gasped. Lariah stared in shock. "The shard energy, it's awakening." Without thinking, Eli raised his hands. A wave of energy burst out, silent but powerful, pushing the guards back like leaves in a storm. The walls shook, the lights flickered, and the air itself crackled. When the glow faded, the guards lay unconscious, and the corridor was filled with smoke. Eli stared at his trembling hands. "I did that?" Lariah nodded, eyes wide. "No Valari could do such a thing. Here's something new. He took a shaky breath. Then we need to get out before more come. They ran through the tunnel until they reached a round metal hatch covered in dust and moss. Lyra pressed her palm to a hidden panel. The hatch opened with a hiss, revealing a dark passage beyond. Go, she said. Eli turned to her. You're not coming? I can't, she said sadly. If I vanish, they will chase us both. I'll tell them you died in the escape. Eli shook his head. You'll be punished, she smiled faintly. Maybe, but it's worth it. You're not the monster they think you are. He looked at her one last time. Thank you, Lyra. Run, she whispered. Eli stepped into the darkness, the hatch closing behind him with a metallic thud. Above them, alarms roared across the Valari city, and deep in the council hall, the masked woman spoke quietly to the Valari king. The human escaped, she said, and the energy inside him is growing. The king's silver eyes narrowed. Then we must find him before they do. Eli ran through the narrow tunnel, his breath heavy, the sound of alarms echoing behind him. The tunnel walls glowed faintly blue, pulsing like living veins, guiding him deeper underground. He had no idea where he was going, only that he had to keep moving. Water dripped from the ceiling. His boots splashed through puddles. Each sound felt too loud, too dangerous. Somewhere above, the Valari guards were hunting him. He stopped for a moment to rest. His hands were still glowing faintly, golden veins burning beneath the skin. The warmth scared him. The power inside felt alive, like something ancient whispering in his blood. He pressed a hand to the wall and took a shaky breath. What did they do to me? He muttered. From somewhere deep in the tunnels, he heard a metallic clang. Footsteps. He turned quickly, crouched low, ready to run. But instead of a soldier, a shadow stepped into the dim light. It wasn't a guard. It was an old Valari in ragged clothes, carrying a lamp made from scrap metal. His eyes glowed faintly red. You're the human, aren't you? The old alien said. His voice was rough but calm. The one who lived through the shard explosion. Eli tensed. Who are you? The alien smiled faintly. Someone who remembers what the council wants forgotten. He pointed to Eli's glowing hands. That power inside you, it's not a curse. It's a key, Eli frowned. A key to what? To the truth, the old Valari whispered. The shard energy came from humans long ago. Your kind once created it. Eli's eyes widened. That can't be true. Humans never— Oh, they did, the alien interrupted. Before the Valari Empire rose, there were human explorers who touched the core. They vanished. But their energy lived on. The council hides that history. Eli took a step back. His mind spun with confusion. So that's why they're afraid of me. The old Valari nodded. You're proof of what they buried. They'll do anything to silence you. Before Eli could ask more, the tunnel shook violently. A bright blue light filled the passage, followed by the sound of hover engines. They found you, the old alien said quickly. Go. The surface tunnel leads to the outer cliffs. Don't stop, Eli hesitated. What about you? The alien smiled sadly. I've been hiding my whole life. Maybe it's time they find me. Eli gave a small nod of respect before turning and running toward the light ahead. The tunnel opened into a massive cavern overlooking the ocean. The Valari city glowed far above, built into shining cliffs of crystal and steel. Eli could see drones flying through the air, scanning with blue lights. Sirens echoed like thunder. He crouched low and moved along the rocks, searching for a way down. The salt air stung his wounds, but the cold wind helped him stay awake. Then a voice echoed behind him. Stop right there, human. A group of Valari soldiers hovered on flying discs, weapons glowing with blue fire. Eli turned, raising his hands. I don't want to fight, he shouted. The leader sneered. Then surrender the energy. One fired a blast. The beam struck the ground near Eli's feet, sending rocks flying. Instinct took over. The golden energy inside him surged. He raised his arms and a wall of light exploded outward, blocking the next shot. The soldiers flew back, shouting in surprise. Eli stared at the glowing barrier in front of him. It wasn't metal. It wasn't force. It was him. He moved his hand and the light followed. He could control it. More soldiers appeared above, dropping from ships, the air filled with beams and fire. Eli ducked behind a rock, the energy shield fading around him. He was breathing hard, dizzy from the effort. He looked toward the horizon and froze. Far beyond the clouds, faint lights blinked in the upper sky. They were in formation, moving fast. Not Valari, Eli's heart pounded. He knew that pattern. He had seen it years ago during his training. Human ships. They were here. Suddenly his communicator crackled. A voice, distorted but familiar. Unidentified life form. This is the UHS Sentinel. We're tracking your signal. Identify yourself. Eli's hands shook. This is Eli Trent, engineer, ID 784 Kilo. I'm on Valara Prime. I need extraction. Static answered him. Then the voice came again, more urgent. Confirmed human biosignature. Hold your position. We have visual. You're glowing? Before he could reply, the soldiers closed in again. Beams rained down. Rocks shattered around him. The communicator went silent. Eli pressed it to his chest and whispered, "Just hurry." Then he stood up, his eyes glowing brighter than ever. The golden energy flared around him, forming wings of light that wrapped his body. The Valeri soldiers hesitated. They had never seen anything like it. Eli's voice echoed through the wind. "I don't want to hurt anyone, but I will not die here." The air cracked with energy as he leaped from the cliff, light blazing around him. Above, the human ships entered the sky of Valara Prime, and every alien eye turned upward, realizing the impossible. Humans had returned. The sky burned with light. Above the cliffs of Valara Prime, ships unlike any the aliens had ever seen moved through the clouds, dark, angular, and powerful. Human ships. For centuries, the Valari had believed humans were extinct or hiding in the shadows of the galaxy. But now, the unmistakable pattern of Terran war cruisers filled the sky. On the ground, Eli stood near the edge of the cliffs, golden light still flickering from his hands. He watched in disbelief as the ships drew closer. His heart raced. He had dreamed of seeing Earth's fleet again, but not like this. "Not as a target, they came for me," he whispered. "Or maybe, because of me." Down in the city, Valeri sirens wailed. Thousands of alien soldiers rushed to battle stations. Giant defense towers rose from the sea like silver spears aiming at the human fleet. Eli could feel the tension in the air, the beginning of something terrible. He didn't want war, but he could sense that neither side understood the truth. Suddenly, a soft voice came from behind him. "You shouldn't be here." He turned and saw Lyraya, the young alien princess he had saved, standing on the rocky path, her robe fluttering in the wind. She had tears in her eyes. "Lyraya?" he said, shocked. "How did you—" "I followed you," she said, breathless. "The council thinks you've joined your people. They're preparing to fire." Eli stared at the sky. "Then they'll start a war neither side can win." She stepped closer. "They fear the shard energy inside you. They believe humans want to steal it. But while I saw you, you only wanted to protect me." Eli nodded slowly. "The energy, it's changing me. I can feel it growing stronger. But I don't understand it." Lyraya looked up at him, her golden eyes filled with sorrow. "That energy was never meant for war. It was the power of creation, used by both our ancestors to build worlds before they destroyed each other." Eli's breath caught. "Then why did they hide it?" "Because it made them gods," she whispered. "And gods make enemies." The ground shook violently as the first explosion lit the sky. The Valari defenses opened fire, and the human fleet answered with blinding light. Eli and Lyraya ducked behind a rock as the shockwave roared past. Ships clashed in the clouds, energy beams, missiles, and thunder echoing across the horizon. Eli pressed his palms to the ground. He could feel the planet vibrating beneath him like it was alive. The shard energy inside him reacted to the chaos and glowing brighter, faster, hotter. Lyraya looked at him with fear. "Eli, stop. It's responding to your emotions." "I can't," he gasped. "It's too much." The golden light burst from his body in waves, shaking the cliffs. Rocks cracked and lifted into the air. The sea below boiled. Lyraya shouted over the noise, "You'll destroy yourself." Eli fell to his knees, breathing hard. "Then tell me what to do." She reached out and placed her small hands over his. "Focus on one thing. Not anger, not fear. Something pure." Eli closed his eyes. He thought of her, the little alien girl crying in the market. The moment he threw himself over her, not to be a hero, but simply because someone needed help. The storm around him softened. The light dimmed, then stabilized. When he opened his eyes, the energy no longer burned wildly. It flowed like calm fire surrounding him in a golden glow. Lyraya smiled faintly. You found balance. Eli stood, his body humming with quiet power. I think I can stop them. He looked up at the burning sky. The human ships were pushing forward. The Valari fleet rose to meet them. It was chaos, two mighty forces both blinded by fear. Eli stepped to the cliff's edge. Lyraya, get to safety, she shook her head. Not without you, he smiled sadly. Then stay behind me. He raised his hands toward the heavens. The golden light expanded, brighter than before, reaching upward like a beacon. The clouds split apart as a column of energy shot into the sky, stretching between both fleets. The light rippled like a wave, and for a brief second, all weapons went silent. On every ship, human and Valari alike, screens flickered and systems froze. The entire battlefield hung still. A voice deep and resonant filled the air. Eli's voice amplified by the shard energy. Stop fighting, he said. You're both standing on the edge of extinction. I've seen what this power can do. You think you can control it? It will destroy everything. Across the radio channels, humans and Valari listened in stunned silence. Eli's voice softened. I am proof that our races can survive together. You call me a weapon, but I am a bridge. Lyraya stepped beside him, her hand glowing softly in his. Together, the golden and blue lights merged, forming a single radiant pulse that spread across the sky. The energy calmed the storms, dimmed the fire, and silenced the weapons. When the glow faded, the fleets held their positions, uncertain, but no longer firing. Eli lowered his hands. Exhausted but standing tall, Lyraya whispered, You stopped them. He smiled faintly. For now, but they'll want answers. Above, the human flagship moved forward slowly, and deep within it, unseen by anyone below, a human admiral stared at the readings on his screen. His expression hardened. That man, he's not just human anymore. The sky over Valara Prime was silent again, but the silence was heavy, the kind that came just before another storm. Both fleets floated above the clouds, waiting. The humans wanted their man back. The Valari wanted their princess safe. And in the middle of it all stood Eli Trent, glowing faintly like a living weapon neither side could fully understand. He stood on the cliff beside Lyraya as the sea winds pulled at his torn clothes. The golden marks on his skin shimmered softly. They no longer burned, but they never stopped moving, flowing like rivers of light under his flesh. Down below, Valari ships hovered near the city's towers. Above, human warships held formation in the thin upper air, silent and watchful. Both sides had opened communication channels, but none dared speak first. Lyraya looked at him with worry. They're afraid of you, she whispered. Eli sighed. Maybe they should be. I don't even know what I am anymore. You're human, she said quickly. That's what makes you different from them. He looked at her. Different or dangerous? Before she could answer, a deep voice echoed from the sky. This is Admiral Roth of the United Human Fleet. Identify yourself. Eli pressed the small communicator at his wrist. This is Eli Trent. I'm alive. Don't attack. There are civilians here. The Admiral's voice came back, sharp and cold. Your signal shows unstable energy readings. Are you contaminated? Eli hesitated. It's complicated. Then we bring you in, the Admiral said firmly. No exceptions. At that same moment, another voice broke through on the open channel, deep and echoing. This is Lord Varric of the Valari High Council. The human you seek is under Valari protection. Approach our world and you will be destroyed. The translation buzzed through the air in both languages. Everyone heard it, and once again the sky trembled with tension. Lyraya grabbed Eli's arm. You can't go with them. They'll tear you apart to study that energy. Eli looked torn. If I stay here, your people will do the same. She looked down. I won't let them. Then what do I do? He asked softly. If I leave, there's war. If I stay, there's war. I'm the spark either way. The girl's eyes glowed with emotion. Maybe you can still choose what burns. Before he could reply, the ground shook violently. A pulse of light flashed from the horizon. One of the Valari towers exploded in flame, struck by a stray shot from the sky. The piece shattered instantly. The Valari fleet rose, weapons glowing blue. The human ships armed their cannons. The first exchange of fire streaked across the clouds, bright as lightning. No, Eli whispered. Not again, Lyria screamed as shockwaves rolled through the cliffs. Eli felt the shard energy surge inside him again, but this time it didn't ask for control. It demanded it. His body pulsed with light, his veins golden fire. The rocks around him lifted from the ground. He shouted over the wind, "Get back, Lyria." She refused to move. "You can stop it." He closed his eyes and focused, trying to slow his heartbeat, trying to control the storm inside. But the voices came, faint, ancient, echoing through his mind. "You are the link. You are the bridge. You are the key to balance." He saw flashes of memory that weren't his, ancient humans and Valeri working together, building the first energy cores, then fighting over them. Whole worlds burning. The same light that gave life had ended civilizations, and now that same power lived inside him. Eli opened his eyes. The glow turned white-hot. The sea rose like a wall. The air around him twisted with static. Lyria shielded her face from the wind. "Eli, what are you doing?" "Ending this," he said, his voice deeper than before, calm but filled with power. He raised both hands toward the sky. The clouds above split open. The fleets froze as every scanner in orbit went wild. A column of golden light reached up from the cliffs, spreading across the upper atmosphere. For a few seconds, every weapon shut down. Ships drifted, powerless. In the silence, Eli's voice echoed across all channels. "This war ends now. You will not fire again." On the human bridge, Admiral Roth stared at the screen. "He's interfacing with our systems." "Without tech?" A Valeri commander shouted. "Our reactors are offline." "He's neutralizing the core field." The fleets hung still, held by invisible force. Eli fell to one knee, breathing hard, the light dimming. "Please, just stop fighting," he whispered. Lyria ran to him, holding him as his strength faded. The Valeri Council broadcast cut through the silence. "He carries forbidden power. Detain him before it's too late." The Admiral replied coldly, "Not a chance. He's one of ours." And just like that, both fleets moved again, toward the same target, Eli. He looked up at the sky, realizing both sides wanted to claim him. "I can't let them," he said softly. "Not humans. Not Valeri. This power doesn't belong to anyone." Lyria's voice trembled. "Then who does it belong to?" He looked at her with tired eyes. "To those who protect, not destroy." Above them, the first drops of rain began to fall through the fading light. The next decision he made would decide whether the galaxy lived or died. Rain poured over the cliffs of Alara Prime. The sea below roared like thunder and the sky burned with streaks of gold and blue light. Human and Valeri ships circled above, locked in a tense standstill. Both sides waited for one command, one signal to open fire. And in the middle stood Eli Trent, drenched, breathing hard, his body glowing faintly with golden energy. Beside him, Lyria, the alien princess, clung to his arm, her own blue aura flickering weakly. "Eli," she whispered, "they're both aiming at you. You can't fight them all." He looked up at the sky. "I'm not going to fight them," he said softly. "I'm going to end this. For good." The shard energy pulsed through his veins like a living heart. He could feel everything. The machines in orbit, the reactors deep below the planet, even the fear in the air. He was connected to it all. The power hummed like a storm, whispering in his mind. "You are the bridge. You are the balance." He closed his eyes. "Then it's time to prove it." Far above, inside the UHS Sentinel, Admiral Roth watched his radar screens go wild. The readings were impossible. One human life form was emitting enough energy to disrupt their systems. "Sir," a young officer said, "the target's power output is increasing. He's drawing from both fleets." Roth clenched his fists. "Fire on his location before he destabilizes the core." But before the order could be carried out, every display flickered. Eli's voice came through the speakers, and calm, human yet echoing like thunder. "Admiral Roth. Lord Varric, look at what you've both become." His words carried across all frequencies. Both humans and Valeri stopped listening. "Once our species built together. We shared light, knowledge, and courage. But fear divided us, and now you stand ready to destroy what little remains, all for control of something that was never meant to belong to anyone." Roth slammed his fist on the console. "You don't understand, son. That energy could wipe out half the galaxy." Eli's voice replied, steady and strong. "Then I'll make sure no one ever uses it again." Down on the cliffs, the wind howled. Lyria reached for him. "Eli, what are you doing?" he smiled faintly, giving it back. The glow in his chest grew brighter, almost blinding. The air rippled around him as dust and raindrops floated upward. He spread his arms and a wave of light burst outward, stretching across the planet. Every ship's engine dimmed. Every weapon shut down. The sea became still, the thunder silenced. Loraya fell to her knees, shielding her eyes. Eli, stop. You'll die! He looked at her one last time. If this is the cost of peace, then it's worth it. The energy from the shard flowed out of him, golden threads rising into the clouds, connecting the fleets, linking humans and Valari alike in a network of shimmering light. Both sides felt it. Memories, not their own, flashed through their minds. Images of the ancient builders, human and Valari working side by side, creating worlds of beauty before destroying them in pride. The truth hit them all at once. The war wasn't between species. It was between fear and understanding, and Eli was the bridge that reminded them. In space, Admiral Roth watched the light spread across the sky like dawn breaking through the storm. Sir, whispered his officer. He's stabilizing the planetary core. The readings are normalizing. Roth stared in disbelief. He's controlling the shard? On the Valari flagship, Lord Varric rose from his throne, eyes wide. No, he's returning it. The golden energy gathered in the clouds and then shot upward, disappearing into the stars. The storms ended. The fleets powered down. The galaxy went quiet. On the cliffs, Eli collapsed, the glow fading from his skin. Loraya ran to him, tears mixing with the rain. He smiled weakly. It's done. She held his face gently. You gave everything. He reached up and touched her hand. Tell them. To remember, not just the war, but the peace. Then his eyes slowly closed. A faint light flickered around his body one last time, and his form dissolved into tiny golden sparks, drifting upward into the sky, vanishing among the stars. For a long moment no one spoke, not in the fleet, not on the planet. Then Admiral Roth's voice broke the silence. All ships stand down. This war is over. Lord Varric, on his command bridge, gave the same order. Ceasefire forever. Loraya looked to the heavens where the last golden spark faded into the clouds. She whispered, Goodbye, Eli, the man who turned war into peace. Years later, a monument stood on that cliff in half-human metal, half Valari crystal, shaped like two hands reaching for each other, with the words carved beneath. He took the explosion's shrapnel to save one life, and ended up saving two worlds.